Hey guys, I'm back again and I have for you a review of Infidel by Ayaan, Hirsi, Ali. This edition I have is a pocketbooks edition, which I'm not too thrilled with because I actually found some mistakes in here. Like sometimes when she was writing you are, and it was written your, Y-O-U-R. So I found that quite a few times in here. So not a great edition. I don't know if there are other editions of this book because I only seem to see this one. So let's get started with this review. Ayaan Hirsi Ali. She is quite the woman, with, I could say, quite the controversy surrounding her for many reasons. I would have to say the many reasons is she speaks her truth and she doesn't care who is not with her when she's saying it. So she kind of like gives it like she feels it. And if that, if you don't agree with her or you don't like that, she can maybe offend some people because she's blatantly honest. Ayaan Hirsi Ali is an activist. She also used to be a parliament in Holland. I think today she lives in the United States. And this book tells autobiography, so it's her life. And the book is separated into, there's a foreword, there's an introduction, there's the first part, which is my childhood, and the second part, which is freedom, and then there's an epilogue. I do not recommend that you read the introduction first because it basically kind of tells you how the book is laid out, and I think that's just spoilery territory. I think it's better to read it not really knowing, some of the details about what's coming next, because it's that kind of book. This book is told from her point of view, and the thing that I like the most about it is the way she goes about telling her story. It's just so descriptive and so powerful and sad, and she is just honest about everything that is happening. Like if there are family members, if they do something that isn't, right or good, this is what they did. She tells it like that, but she does it in a very it's a very sensitive way that she goes about telling her story. And the thing that makes it very interesting is how the story is set up. So as you're reading, literally the first half of the book, you're just gripping onto life. This woman has been through it. Okay, she has been through it. But you're so enthralled in the story that you can't help put it down. I think I read this book in 4 days and I was glued to it. You really go through this up and down feeling like a roller coaster ride. It's a very harrowing story, and you see how this woman has become the woman that she is today. Some people don't like her because they feel like she says bad things about Islam. And I think if you read the book, you'll understand a bit better why she says what she says about Islam. And I think some of it will make sense to you in a way. I was surprised at some of the things that she said about Islam because she was saying this in the early 90s or like 98, something like that. And I was really surprised because it was pretty blatant and honest, and it's not necessarily what people wanted to hear at the time, but maybe a lot of people were thinking. I would definitely recommend that you pick this book up because it will give you a very good insight into one particular kind of Islam, which is, this one focuses on the Islam in Somalia because that's where she's from. So you learn a lot about Islam, the way it's practiced in Somalia. You also learn a lot about the Somalian history and culture. which is extremely interesting. And you also learn about a Somalian living in Nairobi, living in Kenya, and what that's like, and how they, as Somalians, relate to living in this other Black African country. You also have an insight into Holland and what life is like for an immigrant moving to Holland, and what's that like, integration, and how she goes about this integration process. It's also an interesting book to read because of what we are going through today with people not wanting immigrants in their country because of, you know, possibly changing the face of the identity of the European country. And also the idea of what is it like to immigrate and how do you integrate into this new country. So for that, the book is also very interesting because you see her process of integration, and all of it gives food for thought. Let's just put it that way. It all gives food for thought. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I definitely recommend it. It's quite the fast read. I had to read this one for my book club, and we had an extremely rich conversation over this book. And I would definitely highly recommend you pick this up if you haven't read it. Backlist 2019, okay? Yeah, so let's have a talk about it below. If you've read Infidel by Ayaan Hirsi, what did you think of it? Do you think that she's an interesting person? Do you agree with some of the things she says? Do you disagree with some of the things that she says? I've just seen a lot online about her. I would say I've seen more negative recently than positive. And I think it's a lot of people say that she has given up, or she is like a traitor to Islam, and she has given up her Somalian culture, you know, to be something else. I'm not really sure I agree with that. But, you know, like I said, let's chat about it below. That's all I have for you today. Bye.